The purpose of this slideshow is to take you through a day-by-day itinerary of one of my very favorite trips, my 24-day Rainforest, Andean Highlands, Galapagos, Machu Picchu adventure in Ecuador and Peru. I've done this trip 4 times now, and I'm scheduled to take another group in November of 2012. Generally, we use Continental Airlines from various gateways in Canada and the US via Houston and then into Quito. So day 1, we'll land in Quito, we're met by our hosts, and we'll be transferred to our hotel. Our base hotel for the duration of our stay in Ecuador is the JW Marriott Hotel in Quito. It's a wonderful hotel, gorgeous lobby, large rooms, there's even a pool, some great restaurants, and great service too. We'll be staying at the Quito Marriott 6 times during our stay in Ecuador. Essentially, the 24-day trip is comprised of 4 different components, each distinctly different, and the experience that you get from each is definitely unique. After a good night's sleep in those ultra-comfortable beds at the Quito Marriott, you'll have the following day as a free day. So you can take the time to do some shopping. There's also some opportunities to enjoy some day trips if that's what you prefer to do. But it's important to just take the time to relax and to acclimatize to the new altitude. Day 3, we're ready for our first adventure. So we'll transfer to the airport for a morning flight over the Andes to Coca. It's about a 45-minute flight, and Coca is a small town on the Napo River. We'll then be transferred to our motorized canoe, and that's about a 2-hour ride along the Napo River until we reach the bank of the river where Sacha Lodge property starts. And then we have a short bathroom break for everybody, and then we get ready for our half-hour hike to the dugout canoes. Once we get there, we get into the canoes and we go across the lake. It's Lake Pilchicocha. And once we cross the lake, we'll reach the entrance of Sacha Lodge. And there we'll be met by the manager, and we'll go up to the lounge, and there'll be a welcome orientation and drinks. The next slides will show you some pictures of what I just described to you. So this first slide is some of my clients getting into the motorized canoe in Coca. You can see that there's a tarp over the canoe, and it's quite large. It accommodates up to about 30 people. The tarp is good if it's a sunny day. It protects us from the sun, and if it happens to be raining, it protects us from the rain. Here we are, obviously feeling energetic and invigorated on our hike to the dugout canoes. This is through the rainforest. It's an amazingly quiet and peaceful ride as we go along this man-made channel, which eventually opens up into a lake. And then when we get to the lake, it's so calm it almost looks like glass. And on the other side of the lake, we see our home for the next 4 days, Sacha Lodge. And here is the entrance to Sacha Lodge, where the manager is waiting for us to take us up to the lounge for our orientation and our welcome drink. So our 3 days at Sacha Lodge will be filled with activities ranging from jungle walks, dugout canoe rides, bird watching, visits to the Parrot Clay Lake, and there's also a butterfly farm. In addition to that, there's an observation tower and a canopy walkway, which will also be a part of our experience here. Here is a picture of the walkways that lead to our cabins at Sacha Lodge. Now these walkways and the cabins are raised so as to not disturb the lush greenery of the rainforest. Here's a picture of our cozy cabins in the rainforest that will be our home for the next 4 nights. Now here's a picture of my team at Sacha Lodge. Our group was divided into teams to maximize our experience in the rainforest, and we had our own schedule for morning and afternoon excursions, and it was always fun to experience it together and to exchange stories with the other teams. Here's the incredible canopy walkway at Sacha Lodge. Just the construction of this was an ambitious project for sure, but it's just so amazing to be able to climb up and to get onto this walkway. and be on top of the canopy, of the rainforest canopy, and to be able to view it from this vantage point. We do a lot of bird watching from here, and it's amazing the birds that we see, and our guides are wonderful at spotting them. Here's one of my team members taking a look at one of the birds that our guides spotted, and our guides also have the knack of being able to take a picture through the telescope for us in our cameras, which is kind of neat. Here's a picture of the observation tower. This is another opportunity for us to get above the canopy and to be able to see the rainforest from another vantage point. We do some more bird watching up here. It's amazing the number of species of birds at Sasha Lodge. That group picture was taken on the top of the tower. We had an opportunity to do a group photo. We have our photographer standing up in a big tree trunk taking that photo. It was a great photo. Here was another great photo opportunity for my team when we were doing our jungle walk. We stood in front of this huge tree trunk, made for a great photo. Here we are. We're all set to go on one of our dugout canoe rides, leaving from the entrance of Sasha Lodge there. And the photo on the right, it's like I was saying, it's very hard to describe the quietness of the rainforest as we glide along these channels, these canals. It's just amazing, and we're compelled to stay quiet so that we can just concentrate on listening to all the sounds of the rainforest. It's just an incredible experience that everyone should experience once in their lifetime. Here's a picture of our visit to the Parrot Clay Lake. Now this is along the Napo River, so we did take the motorized canoe, and there's an area along the river that's made of clay, and the parrots are attracted to this area because they actually eat the clay. But they tend to gather at this clay lick at a certain time, and so our guides time it so that we're at the clay lick when they expect the parrots to fly in. And when they do, it's just an amazing sight to see hundreds, literally hundreds of parrots flying in, and all different colors and sizes. So it's great photo opportunities here for sure. We do have some time to relax, enjoy a nice glass of wine, some great company in the lounge at Sasha Lodge. Here's part of our group toasting to a wonderful time together at Sasha Lodge. After 4 nights and 3 incredible days in the rainforest, we're ready to head back to Coca for our flight back to Quito. So in order to do that, we get into the dugout canoes, then we have our half-hour walk through the rainforest, and then into the motorized canoes for a 2-hour ride back to Coca, and our 45-minute flight back to Quito. On day 7, we're ready to be picked up from the JW Marriott Hotel for our bus transfer to La Mirage Resort and Spa in the Andean Highlands. Perched on an Andean hillside 2 hours north of Quito, La Mirage is a contemporary resort built on the grounds of a 200-year-old hacienda. Now, La Mirage Garden Hotel and Spa is a member of the elite international Relais and Chateau chain. Here are some pictures we took along the way. We did stop in one little town to visit a restaurant where they make these wonderful biscuits in the traditional ovens, so that was quite an experience. And on the left you'll see a typical costume of the local ladies. Here's what we see when we first arrive at La Mirage Resort and Spa. The grounds are absolutely beautiful, lots of flowers and foliage, and of course wonderful peacocks that are roaming the grounds of La Mirage. It's truly a paradise up there. Here we are having our first lunch at La Mirage in the main restaurant. The dining is absolutely superb at La Mirage. The cuisine, the presentation, the attention to detail, the service, just incredible, beyond expectation. Here are some photos of our accommodations at La Mirage. Every suite is unique and exquisitely furnished. Lots of antique furniture. fireplace in every room. They actually have the logs available for you to start a fire, and if you're not able to do it on your own, somebody will come and do it for you. We actually have a lot of fun going to each other's rooms to see the differences in the rooms. They're just amazing. In addition, there are luxurious comfort amenities in your room and private patios. Now here's something you don't see very often. When we went for our evening meal in the dining room, which by the way was exquisite, we were served our appetizers in these wooden music boxes. When the servers opened the boxes for us, they played the music of the night from the Phantom of the Opera. It's pretty amazing. Here's something else you don't see very often in restaurants. This is lavender ice cream. It's absolutely delicious, and I have it every time I go to La Mirage. And of course the presentation is exquisite as well. La Mirage Resort and Spa also boasts an internationally renowned spa. The exclusive spa at La Mirage has wonderful treatments, and we all go and book our treatments as soon as we arrive there. It's just a real treat to be pampered at this spa. We have our breakfasts at La Mirage in this wonderful outdoor gazebo. Day 9, we're ready to transfer back to Quito and another overnight at the JW Marriott Hotel. We didn't want to leave the grounds before we had an opportunity to take this great group photo with some of the staff of La Mirage. Day 10, we have a full day city tour of Quito, and in the evening a welcome dinner hosted by Celebrity Cruises. And then of course another overnight at the JW Marriott Hotel. Day 11, we prepared to take our flight to Baltra in the Galapagos, and then of course we board the Celebrity Expedition for our 7-night Galapagos cruise. Our cruise will take us to several islands in the Galapagos. We start off in Baltra, then we move to Daphne Island that same day in the afternoon. We'll often be in a different place in the morning than we are in the afternoon, sometimes on the same island, sometimes a different island. Day 2, we go to Gardner Bay in Espanola. Then we move to Punta Suarez, again on Espanola. Day 3, Cormorant Point, Floriana. In the afternoon to the Bahia Post Office, still in Floriana. Day 4, Punta Moreno, Isabela. Day 4, we're in Urbina Bay in Isabela. Day 5, Punta Vicente Roca, Isabela. Day 5 again in the afternoon, Punta Espinosa, Fernandina. Day 6, South Plaza, Santa Cruz. In the afternoon, we're at Santa Fe Island in the Galapagos. And then day 7, Puerto Ayora, Santa Cruz, where the Darwin Research Station is. And day 8, we'll be back in Baltra. Here's some wonderful photos from my last trip in November of 2010. Here's a mother and baby sea lion. Here are some marine iguanas. The iguana on the right is referred to as the Christmas iguana, obviously because of the coloring. On the left, the famous blue-footed booby, and on the right, you can see some Nazca boobies. If you look closely enough on the left, you'll see a cactus finch, and on the right, a land iguana. And pink flamingos, a rare sight in the Galapagos, but it's wonderful when you do spot them. Here's a great view of Pinnacle Rock. It's on the island of Isla Bartolome. We also did the climb up to the highest elevation so that we could have a really good view of Pinnacle Rock. Here's the view that we had from the top. It was well worth the climb. We also had the opportunity to see giant tortoises in the wild on Santa Cruz Island. We were also able to enjoy some local entertainment on board. After our wonderful 7-day cruise in the Galapagos, it's time for our flight back to Quito. So we're now at day 19, and we have our flight back to Quito on Tame Airlines. And we also have some time for a shopping tour in the afternoon and a farewell dinner at a historic theater restaurant in Quito. And that's also hosted by Celebrity Cruises. And then another overnight at the JW Marriott Hotel. Day 20, we're ready to transfer to the airport once again for our flight to Cusco in Peru. Once we land in Cusco, we'll be transferred to the Monasterio Hotel in Cusco. It's an Orient Express hotel, and it was a former monastery. The remainder of the day will be leisure time, and we'll also get a briefing on our time in Peru. Here's a great view of the city of Cusco, surrounded by mountains. It's actually quite a feat for the pilot to get into Cusco, going around the mountain range and down into the valley. Here are some photos taken at the Monasterio Hotel in Cusco. Really a unique place to stay, and again, it's an Orient Express hotel, so really high standards. Here I am in the courtyard at the Monasterio. Day 21 is a day at leisure or optional tours including colonial sites, museums, and markets, or venture to a nearby Sacsayhuaman, considered a great temple sanctuary to the sun. And we have an overnight stay at the Monasterio Hotel. Day 22, it's all aboard the Orient Express train as it weaves through the ancient land of the Incas. This luxury train was named after the explorer Hiram Bingham, who discovered Machu Picchu in 1911. We then arrive at a town called Aguascalientes and then board our buses and take the switchback roads all the way up to Sanctuary Lodge at Machu Picchu. Sanctuary Lodge is an Orient Express hotel as well, and it's the only on-site hotel at Machu Picchu. In the afternoon, we get a fully guided tour of Machu Picchu and, of course, an overnight at Sanctuary Lodge. Here we are at the back of the train on the Hiram Bingham train to Machu Picchu. I couldn't get enough of taking these photos. It was an absolutely gorgeous day and perfect for picture taking, and I climbed as high as I could to get some of these wonderful photos. Here's a couple more photos that I took. Of course, I had to take the obligatory photo with me in the foreground, but the picture on the right, I don't know who this fellow was, but it was a perfect photo op for me. He was just sitting there, just contemplating the view. It was the sun was beginning to set, and it was just an absolutely beautiful scene. Now here's a picture of my patio and my room at Sanctuary Lodge. As I was telling you before, Sanctuary Lodge is the only on-site hotel at Machu Picchu. So when everybody has to go down to Aguascalientes after the park closes at about 5:30, we're the only ones left up there to take these wonderful photos at sunset that I was able to take. And so it's really exclusive. It's a little bit expensive, but well worth it, and it does have to be booked way ahead of time in order to be able to get a room there. There are only about 60 rooms in this hotel. We're at day 23, and we have the morning at leisure, enjoying our exclusive view of Machu Picchu from the comfort of the grounds of Sanctuary Lodge. There's also time for an optional climb to the Sun Peak, which I do every time I'm there. It's actually a quite good exercise to go up there, but an amazing view from that vantage point too. It's well worth the climb. Then in the afternoon, we get ready to go back down to Aguascalientes by bus on the switchback roads, and then get back onto our train, the luxury Orient Express train, the Hiram Bingham, and return to Cusco for another overnight at the Monasterio Hotel. Here's a picture of three of us as we were climbing to the Sun Peak on that last morning. I think there was at least 8 of us that morning that were able to do the climb to the Sun Peak, and again, it was a beautiful day, so we were very fortunate. Day 24 is the end of our wonderful trip of a lifetime. lots of great memories to share with everyone when we get home. It's an absolutely amazing trip, and I would highly recommend it to everyone.